Welcome to our Thursday night live stream.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
Let us know if you can hear us.
Can you hear us?
Because I've spent like the last hour and a half trying to set everything up.
Yeah, just see if it's actually working.
Before we even talk and our mouths are moving.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us? That's the big question.
Can you hear us? I'm
waiting for someone to respond. Lots of people here. Dustin's here.
So good
Bill's
to see
here.
everybody.
Terry's here. Sabrina's here. Matt Franklin is here. I hate YouTube delays, but it's good because then when somebody's an idiot, I can boot them without you guys ever seeing it. Hello. Sarah G is here. Sign fine. Perfect.
Thank you.
We're in our new studio.
Coming to you live from the Double K Farm studio in beautiful Arcadia, Florida.
You're a dork.
We're off the grid, yo. This is solar. We're solar powered right now.
So we came home. We've been working all week.
Yes.
On our studio.
And it's here.
I'm not quite sure how I feel about it.
Ceilings.
I don't like the background.
Well, we can put something. We have our Jedi swords that we actually made. I think I'm going to
move the desk that way so you can see more of behind us.
But I'm just so tickled that we could have our first live stream in our studio.
And these are the sound panels. That's why I want us to be out so you can see the whole back wall more.
Yes.
Sandy's here said, feels like forever since I've caught a live stream. Well, welcome to our first live stream from the farm. In our studio. We're not in our RV. We're not in the half-done kitchen.
Nope.
So this is what we've been doing all week. So like Rachel, we actually have a video coming out. We're going to have a video on our farm channel, on our homesteading channel, on how I did this.
In case someone wants to.
So if you're curious on how we did it.
Do it.
And then, but we're also kind of, we've been filming a vlog. And so it'll also be in there where you can see kind of the inside. But basically, this is a 12 by 18 shed that I've completely retrofitted. We insulated, we put up walls, I ran electric, and we are completely off grid. We're running on solar. We have an air conditioner in here, and it is colder in here than it is in the house.
My heart is so happy.
And in the RV, and it doesn't cost me a penny. So you can keep it as cold as you want, so long as, not like right now where my feet are wet and now they're cold. They're like getting ice cubes on them.
I just want to say, to God be the glory. Great things he has done. It's just been me and Joe putting this together. Talk about functional fitness. Was Joe putting solar panels on the roof
by myself?
I mean, like digging trenches, us holding up the ceiling because we didn't have any kind of special tool. So Sarah G actually came over because we left one of our neck pillows in her car, and she came over to see us crazies basically putting a ceiling in with just the two of us. But I'm thankful, man. We've gotten strong and we can do that thing. And I'm so thankful. Since I see Matt is here, I want to say happy anniversary 626 to Matt and Sarah Joy. It's their anniversary. Yep. And it was Dustin's birthday.
I know, but first we gotta finish our intro.
Oh, okay. What intro would you like?
So welcome to our Thursday live stream. If you are new here, this is our chance that we do every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. at least when we're not traveling, and it's our chance to just hang out with our subscribers. We love to just hang out with subscribers, answer questions and comments. We'll answer pretty much anything you want to ask within reason. So if you have a question, go ahead and type question and then whatever your question is. Or we'd really appreciate if you use the super chat function. That's the little $ that's down below in the chat window. When you use that, it does help benefit the channel. But more importantly, it's going to highlight our screen and let us know that you have a question, because right now, I actually have a screen right in front of us.
Kind of awesome.
I won't miss it. We don't have everything. One of my 4 monitors did not make it. I plugged it in, and it's got the dreaded like spider web thing everywhere. So I'm going to have to order another one. So my big one in the move didn't make it. My big 49-inch monitor did not make the move. So I ended up getting a couple of really good Dell monitors. And then in here, one of my little HP monitors for the studio, because we run with 5 screens in the studio.
Now can we sing to Dustin?
Now we can sing the happy birthday to Dustin.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dustin. Happy birthday to you and many more, so many more. I asked him what did he want to do that was special for his birthday, and he was celebrating with his grandbaby, and they were going to go bowling, but then he shows up and it's like a private event going on, and
that sucks.
That's happened to me before. So they were going to pivot their plans and do something else, but I said that's why you have a birthday month, right? Because if you didn't get it in on your birthday, you can go back and do it another day. But I got to tell you, Dustin, when you said that, I thought I can remember several times going bowling over the years. And it's not like we bowl that frequently, but
we don't bowl at all.
Us picking the wrong night. Yeah. Like it's like a league night and there's maybe one lane open.
The couple times we did, that did happen.
It's crazy.
Groovy grapefruit, salty. Yes. So don't forget.
Delicious.
There's a link down below. It's salty, 10%. It's summertime. It is hot. Make sure you're getting your electrolytes in. Don't forget, when you place your order with Keto or Salty using the link down below, you can get a test sampler.
No.
For the new flavor.
Nope.
That's possible. It's not a guarantee.
Thank
it's
God.
Just like go vote on it.
Vote no.
Everybody vote yes. Dustin's going to go vote yes. Can't tell you what it is, but you will find out when you order the test sampler and then go give Keto Chow your feedback on
Give it feedback. Say Rachel sent you.
Will you stop?
No.
Stop.
Hard pass.
Stop.
Pass.
Are you done? Okay, so we got some questions here. Carrie wants to know, how hot is it in Florida? I've had rain for about 2 weeks and the temps are better. It was 103 degrees here today.
And it's raining.
And
so it's like cooking us.
Here's the thing is in Florida.
It's a crock pot.
It rains every day during the summer. So during the summer, we're going to get rain somewhere between about 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. And it's going to pour like you cannot see the hood of your car.
I had to reel in the awning. The awning I thought was going to blow off of the thing.
I was stuck in the storage unit because we got a bunch of stuff. You should have seen, we had to unload half the storage unit to get this table out and then load it back in. And I'm missing one box from the studio. I cannot find it. So I went back over there. I just want to
point out the fact that the guns we are using these muscles.
I went back over there to try to find it and the pouring started.
There is not even a ramp. There's not even a ramp on this studio.
No.
And so
you have to step up.
Everything you lift, you have to lift and also lift up.
Dustin said the new tester is yummy. I've squirreled one away.
I heard him say that they're out of testers. And I think that's awesome. He said
I forgot how good grapefruit
said
is.
They are all sold out of the testers.
Where?
Keto Simple.
Dustin said they're all sold out of the testers. Oh, well, I'll have to talk to Chris about that.
Oh, happy day.
Exposing Darkness, Stephanie liked that flavor.
Stephanie, that can't be true.
I gave my feedback.
I can't.
Okay. No more ranting.
Give my feedback.
Let's get into these questions. I got to figure out how I arranged all my screens so
So we all need to wait while you figure it out.
Sabrina had groovy great. I forgot how good it was. Dustin is only 2. We answered Carrie's question. Okay, Crystal has a question.
Hi, Crystal.
Any suggestions for migraine relief? This is going to sound really bad. I don't know how long have you been doing keto, Crystal, but
Crystal is hardcore.
So
carnivore almost.
I know. But I would say make sure you're getting your electrolytes in. If you're not consuming a bunch of sugar, which will also cause migraines,
almost
I would really be taking a look at your electrolytes. Make sure you're getting your electrolytes in because a lot of times that's gonna cause migraines if you're low on electrolytes and if you have an imbalance. Other than that, there could be some other medical things you might want to get checked out. Remember, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals.
I will say,
and I'm the worst one to go to a doctor when something's wrong.
Yes, he is.
That's why I have problems where my fingers, these 3 fingers, always tingly and knee issue, and I still don't go to the doctor.
I was going to say though that I have had to really amp up my electrolyte consumption since we've gotten back from the cruise. Just the change in the weather and the altitude, the travel, and then to come back, I am not kidding. It is a crock pot because how is it that usually we're like Carrie, where when it rains, it cools everything off, but it is not fixing it.
So when it rains here, it gets really hot, then it'll rain,
The sauna.
Which kind of,
for free.
as the rain is coming in, it's very pleasurable. Then, about 20 minutes after it rains, it's like a disgustingly wet, humid sauna.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's worse than before it rained.
Right.
And this is every day for the whole summer. I mean, I know Matt could tell you, Nancy's in here, she can tell you, this is the summer. I am finding living here compared to Fort Lauderdale worse.
Warmer.
So when we lived in Fort Lauderdale, you did get that
Breeze.
ocean breeze. It did help cool things down. Even though we lived, 10 miles off of the ocean, it did help cool things down. Where we are now, it is brutally hot in the middle of the day. And then at night, it cools down. Like, it's like 70 degrees.
But we don't live outside, thankfully. No. So we can't enjoy that. I mean, I'm sure that I'm thankful for our birds. We actually installed big metal fans in the coops.
Well, when we were gone, because they were locked out.
And then if it's a bad day and they're stuck in their coop for whatever reason, like if it gets rainy and they're just like trying to hide for cover, it's just like, I just want to make sure that they've got, circulating air.
Lots of people congratulating on the studio. Sandra said, I miss doing projects with my late husband. These are wonderful memories for you both.
It has brought us closer together, truly, because you are learning to lean on each other in a way that we've never leaned on each other before. We've never built a house together.
No.
And we also do not have children to help. So it really is just you and me, babe.
Yeah.
And, our children were much more handy than me. And so, Joe, I feel like you are growing in patience because you don't yell at me all the time because I don't know what I'm doing or what end of the screwdriver to hold. And so I really appreciate this growing time together.
Matt said, got to put up the lightsabers. The store nerds want to see them. They're right there.
Literally right behind me.
Right there.
Sitting there waiting for a bracket.
Just, I got to print some brackets and do a bunch of things. We have a lot, obviously. Okay, so this is done, although we're not completely done setting up. We've got a very old computer. It's like the original Mac Mini. I ordered a newer one. I was shocked that Apple's giving me $300 for my old one. I was really shocked. So that's supposed to be delivered tomorrow. Then we can kind of finish getting everything up. I'll have to find another monitor. Then we're going to move to the inside. Before we do that, though, you're going to love this job. There are 10 more solar panels left.
Yes.
They're going to go on top of the shipping container.
Right.
And so you'll have to help me lift all of those up onto the shipping container so that we don't break them. But I figured out how to attach them. I was like, how am I going to attach...
Without drilling a bunch of holes in it.
Without drilling holes. How am I going to mount 10 415-watt solar panels on the roof of that thing without drilling a hole?
Do I want to know?
These magnets.
Oh.
270-pound pulling force magnets, 4 on each solar panel, which means it would take over 1,000 pounds of force to pull that thing off.
I'm in. That sounds cool.
I feel like that should withstand Florida hurricane winds.
I think it's a good start for sure.
I feel like it's going to be better than putting some screws in the roof.
Yeah, I definitely do not want to put screws in that roof.
So those magnets are being delivered tomorrow. I'm using fishing magnets, where you throw a line on the end and toss it in the water and try and find stuff. That's what I'm using.
My goodness. So what is on what are the plans for right behind us?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, still trying to figure it out, like exactly how to lay it out best. We've thought about having a sign design.
The table takes up most of the room here.
Yeah.
So we kind of there's not a lot of room between the end of the table and the wall, but so because there's stands on each side because we have a big rack that's over our head. I'll move it out that way a little bit, which will show more of the back. But I kind of want to go simple. We're not painting it. So
this reminds me, if you've been with Two Crazy Ketos, like you're the OG, you remember that we had ski lodge walls in our original studio, in our original front room. Bonnie said hi from Anchorage, Alaska. I got to tell you, I am missing Alaska and the entire cruise. First of all, it's just me and Joe at breakfast now. You can't just go to the Windjammer and see all of your friends, which sucks.
Yeah.
Also, what sucks is I have to make that breakfast. Yep. Like coffee.
You have to make your bed.
Does not, making my bed
which
really
makes no
sucks.
Sense. Why do you make a bed? It's so silly.
Because
you're gonna get back in the bed.
I know, but it makes it like a really nice, refreshing thing when you go into bed at night.
We're gonna go through. I want to get back into the chat, but here's a question for the chat.
Okay.
Question for the chat. When it comes to your bed, do you make your bed like perfectly nice, throw pillows and all that?
Not throw pillows.
But like, no.
I make the bed.
These are their options.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you make your bed like nice and pretty, like you're walking into like a hotel?
Yes.
Maybe some decorative throw pillows.
Okay.
Do you just take the comforter and kind of spread it out, throw it up over, don't worry about the sheets.
Prepare it for the night.
Like just hide the messy sheets.
Okay.
So you just take your blanket and throw it over.
Don't even straighten out
the sheets. But don't even straighten out the sheets. Just kind of throw it over. Or do you just say, screw it, I'm getting back in bed later on tonight, so why should I bother making the bed? Let us know which one you're in. I am in depending on how I feel in the morning, either ignore it or throw the comfort over and like it's putting tape over a wound.
Okay. So it's not really fixing
that's generally my thing. I don't understand the making thing. I don't understand the whole let's put especially if it's only two people, like putting decorative throw pillows that you just throw on the ground at the end of the day anyway, and nobody comes and visits. So why bother?
So for us,
unless you're putting your bedroom in home and garden.
Clearly, Joe would not be fixing the bed. I
do sometimes.
Do not have toss pillows or throw pillows because remember, we're still living in an RV.
But even at home.
I know. Calm down. But like living in an RV especially, you try to live as simply as possible because room is a factor. And so I like to make the bed, turn down the sheet and blanket so that you're ready to get in for the evening. Kind of like what you see on a cruise. On a cruise, there isn't any like hotel bedspread.
No,
they're just getting you ready for bed. At least on Royal Caribbean, they did.
Yes, and now cruise lines used to offer 2 services a day. So in the morning they would make your bed, and then at night they would come and turn it down for you. I don't want that.
I can't be confident that I would be able to be gone enough time to honor
they don't
them.
come in to clean. They just come in and it's like, okay, we're going to fold down your sheet and make it so you can slide right. It's no longer pretty across the top. That's what they used to do. The other thing that really is annoying to me, and this is a hotel or a cruise thing, is when they tuck the bottom in and then
you can't get your leg.
I can't. I'm as long as the mattress. And so now the sheet is pulling my feet to bend down. It's like the first thing I want to do is rip it all up. I want it all in this.
You're so put upon.
Okay, let's get in here.
Oh, it's so sad for you.
Okay, so Matt said, Joe, if you wait until Tuesday, I can come down and help you lift the panels onto the storage container. No, I got gun show over here. I actually just want to get them off the ground. The turkeys are right now like jumping on top of them. They're not covered up.
I noticed that.
And they aren't cheap. When I bought them, I had to buy a minimum of 12 or 14, I think.
Which is why we have so many.
Which is why I have so many. But that's the shipping container is also going to run on solar. And so putting them on there, it's like that's going to run my air compressor. If I have an air conditioner for in there, maybe I can even...
I think you should get one in
there.
What
would be great is if I can get it going in there. Like, I wonder if I can keep it cool enough to leave our freeze dryer in there.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Because the thing about a freeze dryer, you can't put it
dryer
outside because it generates heat and they overheat and it doesn't work. It really needs to be in a cool environment, but it's super loud. And so I don't think I want to put it in the house.
Speaking of preparing food, I prepared none today thanks to the Carnivore bar. You may have seen the reel I put out in the short on YouTube. They're coming out with 2 new flavors. We both found them to be delicious. We can't say what the flavors are, but if you are Meat Stock, you may already know what the flavors are because I think that they sampled them at Meat Stock. I will say they're savory flavors. I don't think that's talking out of turn to say that they're savory flavors.
One of them's the sweet savory.
Like the last time that they had a new flavor was that apple flavor, which was delicious. I appreciate the fact that it's pemmican and they're still trying to make it interesting, right? Different flavors. And so that's coming out July 4th. And speaking of July 4th, that's a big time for sales. Usually Perfect Keto has a giant sale around
we'll put
4th
up
of July.
that
Equip.
I know of.
And I am going to say that if you're going on the 2KK cruise or any cruise, check out what's going on as far as this sales go. Because sometimes excursions get cheaper, all the things.
Yeah, and we'll let you guys know about that. Okay, getting back into here. Crystal said, been keto using salty and keto chow magnesium every day. Yeah, I would maybe just make sure you're getting enough. Other than that,
I would go to the doctor,
you might want to
because
check in with the doctor.
really
if it's not an issue you've had before.
Because it could be also, I don't know when's the last time you got like your eyes checked too. Sometimes the wrong prescription if you need glasses or you don't use glasses, like that can be an issue too.
Crystal said I had foot tinglings and I was taking electrolytes, but if I take too much electrolytes without enough water, that would happen. Yes. When I increased my water, it stopped. It's about a balance. Yes, it is. And that's why I prefer things like this where you're going to add water. And this way I know I'm getting enough fluid with my electrolytes. If you're taking capsules and things like that and you're not drinking a lot of water, that could definitely happen.
Oh, Stacy is not going to be purchasing that new. She tried the test thing and is Team Rachel on it apparently. But she does like the red, white, and BAM, and I love that too.
Yeah.
And how much, since it is right around 4th of July, do you love the packaging? It's like the cutest packaging, and I think it's perfect to like set out at like a summer party.
Yeah. John said, well, Joe, those aren't normal things that doctors are really effective at helping with. It's the best that I can tell you. When it comes to the brain and migraines, if you can't figure out to be a food issue, it could be another issue. I don't like scaring people, but my dad died of brain cancer, and there were signs, but we didn't see the signs until after he died.
Usually it's like, I know Crystal though, so I know more like that she's more meat based. Because the first thing I'm going to say is if you're having migraines, check your ingredients for sugar, because we know in our family that sugar causes migraines. The absence of sugar is like goodbye to a lot of migraines. But when, ask me how I know, sugar does not make a pleasant evening.
Yeah. Andrea said Florida weather sounds like what I experienced when we lived in the Philippines. Yeah, pretty much. Sandy said, if I don't have electrolytes within 2 hours of walking, I get a headache, goes away within 15 minutes after.
Let us know in the chat if this is your first live stream with us, if you are new to the channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We would love to have you click the bell button as well. Thumbs up the video just so that we can meet more people. I want to say a big thank you to Maria Emmerich and also the folks over at Meatstock, both of which this week shared our story. And hopefully some new people are getting to meet the 2KK family. It's not even me and Joe. I get excited when people join and subscribe because they get access to y'all. Yeah. Because the 2KK family is where it's at.
Kyla said, I thought only British people complain about weather. Americans are learning it too.
We complain about everything.
Listen, here's the thing. I don't even complain about, I'd rather be hot than cold. I hate being cold.
I like being cold less than I used to.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of being cold. When it comes to weather, though, I feel like every place in the country has bad weather at some point, and you have to deal with things, and you have to deal with natural disasters. I will take Florida natural disasters over places like California or even the Midwest.
Earthquakes
like
or tornadoes.
You get the warning of, okay, the conditions possibly exist that there's going to be a tornado. When we're going to get a hurricane, we know a couple weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Of course, every store sells out because like there used to be like joke things for the news where like they would put fans on themselves because the news just makes it like ridiculous. We don't have television anymore now, so we don't really see it. But usually they would come in and for like a week out for a hurricane, it's 24-hour coverage on what that hurricane's going to do. And then it misses. Meanwhile, you can't buy plywood, you can't buy bottles of water, you can't buy anything.
I can actually remember a time as like a young person when it was around a hurricane and there was a reporter during the storm really yucking it up, like really acting like they are in like death-defying situation and people calmly walking behind them, not affected at all. So like I think they do many times play it up, especially for hurricane season.
John said, same here. Rain equals sauna if the temp is over 90 when the rain starts.
When people say that they've purchased a sauna, because it's kind of like a hacking your health thing, people like ice baths and saunas. Definitely, if we're going to try something new, it's going to be an ice bath because we already have the sauna. We would not need to have this on. I will say I have been taking Evelyn. I see Evelyn's here. Hi, Evelyn. I was taking her advice lately where she'd shared on the cruise when we were chatting that she has kind of revved up her tolerance of like a cold shower at the end. And I'm starting to do that where it's like, okay, I usually like a warmish shower. And then, but that last like couple of minutes, I'm putting it on super cold and seeing how long that I can take it. And it actually does make me feel more refreshed instead of like hot going into the day.
We do have an old freezer that I want to sell. We could lay it on its side.
And just have me sit in that?
And throw it with, no, I guess you can't really lay it on. We'd have to move the compressor around or just buy you a chest freezer and then put a bunch of water and we can make a makeshift cold plunge.
I feel like
why spend thousands of dollars on a cold plunge when you could literally take a chest freezer and fill it with water?
I feel like the neighbors already know we're trashy, and I don't think that we need to give them any more signals.
I'm just saying
that we're trashy.
John said one thing that's nice about Florida is it doesn't hit 100 too often. In July and August, we can get 5 to 10 days in a row over 100. Yeah, normally we're in the high. It's that feels like, especially when you're just out in the brutal sun.
The sun.
I mean, when we were getting stuff out of the storage unit, like the metal piping that we have up here, is like you're burning your hands.
It was
from sitting out in the sun. Let's see. Sherry said, hey, my friends, I'll be watching this on a replay. Glad to stop and say hi.
Sherry had the most beautiful dress at the 1920s night. And it was, it had so much fringe on it. It was a white dress. It was gorgeous. And it was her mom's, which I thought was amazing. She had really like saved it and kept it really, really nice. And just looked so good. I love seeing everybody dress up on the cruise. Y'all look beautiful.
Okay, so we're going to run through these real quick. So we got some answers on my bed question.
Okay.
Matt said we make the bed and then Piper gets on it and messes it up. Carolyn makes her side of the bed.
Oh, okay.
That's an interesting way to go at it.
Maybe that's how I should treat Joe.
Jeanette said, I agree with Joe.
Okay.
Life Station Express, bed made 50%. I would say that that's really us.
Well, because sometimes.
Like a lot of times we're just too busy. We don't make it at all.
Well, this morning we jumped up and hit the ground running. So we didn't have it. But I also knew I was going to change the sheets tonight. So when we get back to the RV,
you make the bed. So
there's no sheets on.
I am fine to sleep on a bed that has no sheets too. When I am tired, I don't care. It just jumps. So I got to go back and find where we were.
Miriam is here. Hey, beautiful.
Let's see. Simpson, I like a well-made bed.
That's nice.
John said, yes, that is the worst. Those sheets must be untucked. I agree. Crystal said, I don't tuck the sheets under corners. I don't like it either.
Yes, Nancy wants to make towel animals. I want to make towel animals too. I got to find my book. Sarah G had found a book on towel animals and I need to find it. I know it's in my office stuff and we can try it. I'm so thankful that Nancy got safely to Andy and Susan's house, getting ready for their meetup this weekend. It's going to be amazing. And it just blesses my heart so much. I haven't seen the full thing on the meat stock presentation, but we were actually sharing that something that's been such a blessing, that you guys are amazing, that we're just so thankful that within this community, people have met and they're able to go to conferences and share rooms because they've gotten to know one another, maybe go on a cruise, share rooms, and then even have like a meetup in a different state. And there goes Nancy getting on a plane, going to.
Oh, it's awesome.
I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing.
Lynn said, no throw pillows. I make the bed every day, so it's ready for sleep. I mess them up bad. Robin said, Joe, you don't want me to vote no on the test electrolyte flavor that I got with my last order at the NMA. That just released the flavor last week. Yeah, that was the other one. Stephanie said, or Stacey said rather, I canceled my Florida chicky eggs today. Yes! Hatch day should be July 4th. We'll be staying home and playing peaceful hatching music.
Oh my gosh.
We've got a bunch too. I had 2 eggs explode. Oh my gosh, the smell.
It was awful. But I'm so excited. Thank you. Those are 2 KK babies getting hatched out there. And I hope Ken enjoys them. I'll be praying for their hatching, that everybody is, comes out alive and kicking.
Evelyn said, I don't sleep in a bed. I rolled my car over a cliff when I was 19. If I rest flat, my back atrophies.
Oh my gracious. Horrible. So do you sleep in like a recliner? I have an aunt that sleeps in a recliner.
Janice said, Mama always makes your bed before you leave in the morning. I like it pretty.
Oh, that's nice.
Robin said, I pull the comforter up over everything, and then the dogs mess up the bed.
John is in all caps.
Terry
is very serious about
Terry
this.
Is the same thing. Throw the comforter on quickly.
John says there is no point in making a bed if you're just going to mess it up again in a few hours. Yes. Screw it.
Yeah, I completely.
I love it.
Jesse said, I'm screw it because my kids make a mess of everything, including our bed.
Yes. I was watching a reel, and it was a mom saying like it was like real life momming, and she was showing like all of the different, like everything where the kids had just screwed up. The couch was a wreck. Like there was just, she had piles of toys. It was real life. And I thought that was funny.
Okay. Dustin said, Chandra and I tried Carnivore Bar for the first time on our Tuesday live this week. Was not prepped for it to be crunchy like Rice Krispie meats. It didn't taste bad, but the texture, it does take a little bit of getting used to.
We make our own pemmican. In fact, we have a recipe for it if you want to check it out. And it's delicious, but it is like a new texture. I will say that if you've got kids even that are, especially young kids, like, toddlers and preschoolers, they're just starting to develop different tastes. Peyton loved it, and sometimes when it's like a new mouthfeel or a new flavor, that's when it's a great time to test the kids with those, because they don't know not to like it, right? The hardest thing, I think, as a parent or a grandparent is if you're trying to get them to eat something, like let's say you're trying to get Peyton to eat some fish, you not making a screwed up face like, ugh, that's going to be terrible. Just that whole like, yum. And they like things,
don't have me get Peyton fish.
It's so funny.
John said, magnets holding solar panels on shipping is perfect. Not so sure if it's on a metal roof, which might just pull the entire roof up. Yeah, but this has a metal roof, and I just screwed into the wood.
Yeah.
Let's see. Simpson said, I've been playing with making carnivore bars, so I have easy eating during my fat fasting phases.
Yeah, check it out. Like it really isn't terribly hard to get pemmican, to make pemmican, but like the trick is dry, like getting that meat like totally dry.
You got to get all the water,
all of the moisture out of it is the biggest challenge.
Andy says, everybody feeling better after the cruise?
Yeah, feeling great.
Speaking of cruises, we are going to put some stuff, we're working on some stuff for the December 2 KK cruise, which again, we still have some cabins left. I think there's about 15, maybe 20 cabins, depending on which one. One's got more cabins sold than the other. We had a couple of cancellations. So we do have some ocean view balconies available if you're interested, because we are coming up. I think we have about a month left, and then I have to give up whatever we have. But I'm looking for next year. Here's the thing. When we arrange a 2KK cruise,
we book it way ahead of time.
I have to make a $2,000 deposit on that cruise that I do not get back until the cruise.
Right.
So like, we have 2 cruises this year. So right now I have $4,000 of our own personal money tied up in these cruises that we won't get back until I think the end of September after a final payment date. But we're looking at one for next year. And just to give you guys a heads up, it looks like we're looking at Harmony of the Seas out of Orlando for next year.
Try something different.
Because one thing is I want ships that most people haven't been on. So, if you look at the ships that are sailing out of Florida, like Allure is sailing out of Florida, but it's only on 3 and 4 nights. And it's out of Miami, but a lot of people have been on Allure from the 2KK community because of low carb cruise. Adventure to Seas was last year's low carb cruise. We're doing Freedom. We've already done Liberty. So we're trying to do that. Also, it's a bigger ship because we need something with a conference room because that's our struggle right now with this year.
Yes.
Turns out Freedom of the Seas doesn't have conference rooms.
Y'all pray.
So we're trying to
something will open up.
Something with there. It's not open up. There are none.
Right.
They don't exist.
We're hoping that they will find a space for us to be able to utilize, kind of like the low carb cruise did.
At least for like a couple of hours a day. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a snafu for us. But we're working with the cruise line on that. But just to give you guys a heads up, and we're thinking about September next year.
Try something different.
Just also because of price, right? For me, everything is about price, keeping it as low as possible so more people can go. So we're going to put a post up in our Mighty Networks group. If you're not a member of Mighty Networks, go ahead and join members.2crazyketos.com. It's free. The only snafu, this seems to be one of the cheapest cruises next year from September until December. And it's a 7-night cruise. I can do 5 nights. You say $40. Like, not worth it at all. Like, $40
for 2 more nights.
$40 for 2 more nights. But it seems like with everything next year, interior cabins are almost the same exact price as ocean view balconies.
So why not just get a balcony?
Yeah. So like, and I'm talking about like on the one that we're looking at in the end of September next year, the ocean view balcony for 2 people is like $2,200 for 7 nights. And an interior is like $2,050. It's like a $50 difference. So now sometimes those things change and we can reprice them.
Sure.
Mostly what it'll be is ocean view balcony for next year.
So just a heads up.
We may even look at August. I've been trying to avoid that because hurricane season, September is also hurricane season, but I know people want to get away from December because we're closer to Christmas.
We trying.
So let us know what your thoughts are.
I will say that we've got a couple of conferences coming up still the rest of this year. We've got the Keto Orlando Summit happening end of July into the first part of August. So check that out if you're going to be in the Orlando area for the summer. Also, Hack Your Health is going to be happening in November. We will definitely be at Hack Your Health and at the Keto Orlando Summit. We're actually we're emceeing the gala for the Keto Orlando Summit.
We're speaking in Orlando and we will be hosting the gala.
And in Hack Your Health, we'll be hanging out with Keto Chow.
Yeah, we'll just be hanging out.
Super excited about that. And I will say, I did get a notification. I did put it on Instagram that if you are interested in tickets for Hack Your Health, they're going to be increasing the price coming up as they get closer to the big day. So make sure you get your tickets now.
Do we have a discount code?
Yeah, 2 Crazy Ketos.
We don't make any money off of it.
No, same thing. Same thing for Keto Orlando Summit. If you're looking for tickets, 2 Crazy Ketos, make sure that you use that at checkout so that you can get a discount.
Okay, Sinsen, question. First time with you two.
Thank you.
2-year carnivore, and for a couple of months now, I've been having major muscle cramps in my calves. I upped my magnesium. It didn't make a difference. Do you have any ideas? Potassium. So generally when you get leg cramps, it's magnesium or potassium. The magnesium deficiency will usually show up at night when you're not doing anything. Like in the middle of the night, you're sleeping, you wake up with a bad cramp. If you're up and active and moving, usually it's potassium, but it could be potassium at night. That's why electrolyte balance is so important. So people think like, oh, my magnesium's at, and they just down the magnesium, but they ignore the other ones. It's about having the right amount of electrolytes in the right balance. I strongly suggest doing something like salty. I know you're saying you're a 2-year carnivore.
They've got clean slate.
I don't know if you are okay with stevia. Again, some carnivores are, some carnivores aren't. For those of you who don't know, if you don't like stevia, Salty uses a different kind of stevia. It's a purified stevia, so even people with ragweed allergies can usually consume it. It doesn't have that bitter aftertaste or anything like that. I don't like a lot of the early on stevias, but the newer ones are much better, the purified stevias. But if you don't like that, then they do have the clean slate, which has no stevia in it.
And then there's Keto Chow electrolyte drops.
And you can do the electrolyte drops and stuff. But again, I strongly suggest getting packets and mixing with water because, again, if you don't have the right balance of water with your electrolytes, you can also get cramps.
Yeah.
Jesse said, just wanted to mention prayers for Carolyn Ketchum. All I dream about food.
Oh.
We just found out today that her husband unexpectedly passed away last week. I know a lot of us love her recipes.
Absolutely. She is amazing at creating dessert recipes in particular. We're so sorry for that loss. I'm so sorry for her. Prayers for her family, of course.
Angela said, good news. My thyroid antibodies are lower than they have ever been.
Wow, that's
still high,
awesome.
But I feel better. That's
I'm
awesome.
so glad.
Stacy, I used to always make my bed with pretty pillows, etc. when I'd get up in the morning, but things changed. Now I have a man in my bed for hours after I get up.
I love that. So I usually do get up before Joe does.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with Stacy, like getting all the pillows and stuff together. My mom always made a really pretty bed, and she would come in and, if I'd make my bed and she would put, the pillows and stuff on, but it just would always, that part of it felt like laborious.
Andy said, Susan, I could do September. Germany is May. Yeah, we won't do anything in probably May, June, because you have the low carb cruise. The low carb cruise next year is May 31st, which we will be on. We're speaking at, and we're also emceeing.
Yeah. Isn't September hurricane season? Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is. But you know what? You saw that on the low carb cruise. It's, it's kind of like, you just pray and hope for the best. It's, it's kind of like threading a needle. The day after we left one of the ports in Alaska, they had a terrible situation where a boat actually came.
It was the day before.
It came, off of the.
Yeah, no, that storm hit the day before we got to Juneau.
And then we get there and it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was so can be crazy.
Florida hurricane season is actually low carb cruise next year is during hurricane season.
Right.
Our hurricane season is the whole summer all the way until the end of October.
Basically, whenever you want to cruise.
Here's the thing about hurricanes. Most of the time, even if there's a hurricane, the cruise doesn't stop.
Yeah.
They just divert.
They go to a different place.
They go to different places. They're not putting that cruise ship in the middle of a hurricane. It just goes to different places and stuff like that. Generally, the worst two things can happen with a cruise on hurricane season is one of two things. A, it gets too rough at where you were going to go to port, so you just stay out at sea and you miss the port.
Right.
Though they don't have to, it is in your cruise contract, and a lot of people don't know this. This can happen anywhere. If they decide to cancel a port for whatever reason, they can't get in because of weather, and this could happen in Alaska, it can happen anywhere. That you've agreed to that when you when you sign up for a cruise. Most cruise lines, though, when it does happen, compensate you and somehow give you some onboard credit, something like that. The bigger thing that can happen for cruise during hurricane season, the biggest thing that can happen is if it hits, for example, Tampa, and that's where your cruise ship is going out, and maybe you're supposed to come in on a Friday and the hurricane hit on Thursday or it's going to hit on Saturday. They close the port. You get to stay out at sea for 2 or 3 more days for free.
Yeah.
Now, it stinks if you have to get home for something, but if you just love cruising, you get 2 or 3, 4 more days on the cruise for free.
Yeah.
That's usually the worst thing that happens. But last year, all the storms that hit Florida, it only happened twice.
Here's the thing, it's every vacation.
Yeah.
So if you're
we're going on Star of the Seasons in the seas in the heart of hurricane season.
But I just think about like how many times we've gone someplace and because of snowstorm or something, like you can't fly on the plane, or you get, people come to Disney World, they've just driven their car.
Go to Universal Studios, SeaWorld, or any place that has roller coasters. It's
going to rain every day at 2.
Guaranteed for 3 to 4 hours of your visit there.
Yeah.
All of the roller coasters will be shut down if you go during the summer.
Right.
It's just part of it. And our thing is, you enjoy it anyway. You just enjoy it. But I will say I'd rather go during hurricane season than take a 2KK cruise in January, because our January weather could be bad.
It gets really rough sometimes.
It gets rough.
It scares me a little bit in December. There's always a risk in December.
Okay, Simpson.
What do we eat in a day?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but what do we eat in a day? So we have a lot of eating vlogs. So we're starting to do some more, trying to do one a week. Here's the thing. Our eating is so boring.
It's super boring.
It's
ground beef.
We make recipes,
ground pork.
We don't make recipes for ourselves that often. It is how fast can I throw something together? So Rachel ground up like 2 pounds of ground beef the other day. We did more today. Ground up sausage, eggs, like whatever is quick and easy. And then we obviously eat chicken since we're poultry farmers. But it's super easy. But we are a mostly meat-based couple. So we eat probably, when we're at home, 95 to 98% of what we eat is meat.
Yeah.
And we'll do keto chows. Bacon.
Pork belly.
Oh, that bacon. There's like 3 pieces left. I ate over a pound of bacon throughout the day today. Yeah, Robin said prime hurricane season. I know, but it's the best we can do. Usually the December cruises are super expensive and nobody wants to go in December either. Let's see. Stephanie says, I can't drink, Stacy. I don't know why I keep saying Stephanie. I can't drink carbonated drinks as I get terrible muscle cramps no matter how many electrolytes I take.
That's interesting.
Miriam said I would go in September. Well, that would be cool. You guys should definitely come.
We would love to have Miriam and Chris.
Yeah, Robin said, with September being prime hurricane season in Florida, I couldn't commit because of work.
Oh, yeah.
If a hurricane hits, it's all hands on deck.
She's in the insurance industry.
Now, one thing I would say for Florida, prime hurricane season is honestly become like October. I think October. Now, it depends on when in September. Like the beginning of September is usually pretty good, but like end of September, October is usually our worst. Like I said, we're going Star of the Seas.
We were going to Keto Palooza last year, right?
Yeah, but that was October. And you had the one the week before as well. Aaron said, I was worried about all of you when I heard the cruise ship breaking in Lyons in June. I looked it up to make sure you guys weren't in port.
Thank you for checking on us, Aaron.
Yeah, so that was Celebrity Edge, and they left port at the same time as us in Seattle, but they like one port stop. They have to change them up.
It was crazy, and I didn't realize like how bad it was until Robin sent me like the video that somebody captured of like the ropes breaking loose off of the ship. That was crazy.
Nancy said Central Florida Keto Meetup November 8th, RSVP me. When is Keto?
It's the end of that week. So
okay.
Yeah. So it's, what is it, the 14th, I believe, in there. If somebody's going to Hack Your Health, I want to say it's the 14th. I can double check. July, August. Yeah. It's the 14th through the 16th for Hack Your Health.
Okay.
November 14th, 16th.
Robin was answering somebody. Sim said the only carbonated drinks I drink is a few sips of my husband's Diet Coke just to bug him. I'm not really crazy about that. That's something
I would do. I will tell you that lately, it's like for just the last couple of months, I just really, a sip or two of a diet soda is like pretty much all I can take. I thought that I would enjoy when you're on the cruise, like getting a sip of your soda or something. And I don't know, just not into it. Just having no soda. And I'm not trying to perk up that interest. It's like, I don't know why.
Matt said, I know someone who put in to be a speaker on the next low carb cruise. Hopefully she gets in. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Simpson said, I just got my potassium out and will definitely add more to my electrolyte mix. Thank you.
Thing.
You're welcome. Carrie said, hurricane season, rabbit season, duck season, hurricane season. Evelyn said, in colder climates like the Midwest, your hurricane season is construction season.
Oh, that's interesting.
Stacy said, September, October, November, January would be great for us to get away from Ohio weather. We don't want to leave during nice weather here. Yeah, I mean, that's what we had. You honestly don't want to go on a cruise in August or July. It is too hot.
It's so hot.
You're gonna do burnt. You do not want to do a Caribbean cruise in July and August. It is so hot. Well, you're miserable.
Plus, it's, it can be a lot more crowded with like school
There's a lot more kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I love kids.
We love kids, but you may not want to cruise with them all.
Carrie said we need squirrel flavor of keto chow.
Ew. Ooh. Dustin said, anyone in the Gulf Shores, Pensacola area, we're planning to be down there in mid-October. Could get together for lunch or a small meetup if there are enough people. Yeah, hook us up, Dustin. We would love to see you. Let us know when you're going to be there.
John said, not that boring. I eat many varieties of meat, eggs, some cheese, salty, and some veggies.
Yeah,
variety.
I'd say that's like pretty much the bulk of our diet.
Yeah, when I say like, we used to do a lot of recipes, but now it's just like, and this,
it's not a bad thing.
Your proper human diet will evolve.
For sure.
We started off simple, but then we made mug cakes. Then we started being like, oh, okay, can I make pizza? Can I do those kind of things? And we still do that. But most of the time, I don't have time to make a recipe. I don't want to be bothered making it. I want to know how fast can I cook and be done.
Right.
And what can I meal prep? I love to meal prep so that we don't have to cook every day.
Well, and that is
especially living in an RV.
And honestly, that is a great micro habit to adopt. It doesn't have to be, meal plan Monday or, meal prep Monday. Sometimes people are like, they're only sending whatever is like a good day for you. You don't have to make the whole week's worth of food. Just see if you can prep one protein and do extra. Basically just, hey, if you're going to cook a pound of hamburger, why not cook 5 pounds of ground beef and just put it up in the refrigerator? You do not have to do like we did when we first got started, where we were using those like meal prep containers and we were making from soup to nuts the entire meal, where you're like, okay, one little thing, basically like you're making a lean cuisines or healthy choice meals, but like a keto version of it. And we would just meal prep and there'd be all these containers in the refrigerator. You don't have to do that.
Right.
But you might want to give yourself a little bit of an edge. And my advice is going to be, make some extra protein and just have it handy. If you make, a big chicken and you just like shred all that chicken up and you have it in the refrigerator, or beef, or make a whole big mess of bacon, more than you need, so that like the next day or a different day of your week that just gets busy, you don't have to worry about it. It's kind of nice.
And then if we have something where we didn't meal prep and I just don't feel like cooking, that's where we'll use something like the Real Good Foods chicken strips. Which if you like those, and if you have a Costco membership,
they were $4 off a bag.
$4 off a bag right now. So if you've ever bought them, and I do like them, and the ingredients are pretty good. They use chickpea flour for their coating and protein powder, but I feel like it's like 4 carbs per serving. But here's the thing is, if you go to Walmart, you can buy them. It's like $8, and I feel like you're getting baglings.
It is
the
different.
Ones in Walmart, the pieces are tiny.
They're tiny.
It reminds me of, remember the pretzels that it wasn't a whole pretzel, it was broken up pretzels, and they put honey mustard, and that was just, I mean, it's genius.
Smart
right?
Marketing.
It was, hey, these are all the pieces that broke on the conveyor belt, so let's just throw them in a bag, throw some seasoning, and sell it.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like that's the Real Good Foods chicken at Walmart. The pieces are like this big, half of it is crumbs, and it's $8. The bag in Costco is 3 times the size. Every chicken strip is like this, so you're getting a lot more chicken than you are breading. And it's $14 normal price for a bag that's, I think, 2 to 3 times the size as the one in Walmart. And right now it is $10 a bag.
All I know is it's like 2 different companies are making that product. If you buy it in Walmart, it is not the same product as if you buy it in Costco.
It's like comparing the chickens that we grow here and then something you paid $3 for in the store.
Yeah. It's very odd.
I've never seen anything like it. But I do think that they're pretty good things. And again, we always keep a couple of bags of those so that, okay, I haven't cooked. I don't want to cook. It's too hot. Throw them in the air fryer and let us go.
Yeah. So Mommy is here. Hey, Mommy. I'm so looking forward to seeing. Mommy is coming to visit us tomorrow. I'm so excited about it. She has never seen Grace. That's how long it's been since she's been able to be here.
I feel like she has.
She has not.
Wow.
So I'm so excited. Like, I'm going to get to see her. But yes, my mom, you know how people would make a roux, or they'd like start off with, you know, a couple of ingredients, and then you diverge from that and you add other things, and it becomes a different recipe. My mom's base ingredient for everything is ground beef. So she's like, I start that ground beef and I don't know what that ground beef is going to be. So she'll be like, well, I added beef broth to it and I'm having hamburger soup. Or she will be like, I'm adding some tomato sauce. Well, now we're having like spaghetti night. But she always starts with beef and just always has a bunch of ground beef cooked up.
This is an unpopular opinion. I think ground beef is the best part of beef. I think ground beef is better. I will take a bowl of ground beef over a ribeye any day.
Okay, now you need to pump the brakes on that one.
I think it is the most.
But it's up there for me.
You can do so much with it. I enjoy it. You can't.
It never lets me down.
You can pre-cook a ribeye, but let's be honest, it sucks when you eat it the next day.
Well,
it's not the same thing. It's never going to be like when you just cooked it. Whereas ground beef, I can cook it today and it tastes just as good tomorrow.
I have never had leftover ribeye before because I will eat my ribeye.
I will take ground beef any day of the week.
But I will take ground beef. In fact, the next time we get a beef share, as many roasts as we used to have,
we just want
want ground beef.
Give me some steaks, the brisket, and ground beef.
Put all the organs in the ground beef, and that's what I
want. Andy said, this being in the solarium at all times during the cruise, no kids. Yeah, we're going on Star of the Seas in September. We were thinking about canceling it, but like we redeemed rewards, and it turns out those rewards are not refundable. So I'm not going to lose $1,000 in rewards.
No.
But there's no solarium on Star of the Seas. Icon and Star don't have a solarium. They do have an adults-only area.
What is it?
But it's outside.
Oh.
It's not enclosed like the solarium.
Man, that's odd. That's an interesting choice.
It'll be interesting. Andy said, empty nest freedom.
Yes. It is. You know, I miss having the kids around. So much, and some days are much harder than other days, but I will say we are so busy. I'm thankful that we're having that empty nest season right now, because I know that they're glad that I'm not helicopter momming them right now.
This is going to sound bad, but I'm actually thankful that we're empty nesters in the middle of what we're doing, because if we weren't, it would literally take us twice as long.
Oh, sure.
But not because of them.
No.
Because of you.
Oh, yeah, because I want to visit.
Be with them more. And then
everybody knows I love to visit.
Yeah. And it's not a knock on you. I'm just saying
feels a little bit
it's not
like a knock, but it is true.
Patty said the cruise 2026. No, this would be for 2026. This year's cruise is the one in December.
Simba. And it's not too late. You can sign up for that one.
Angela said, I'm cooking for the weekend, going to be working at the drag races.
How cool. And that's smart, because again, if you have like a different energy expenditure this week, right? You're taking on an extra gig at work, a couple of extra hours, or you are doing something that's going to expend some energy, like maybe you're going to a museum, or you're going to a botanical garden, you're going someplace with your kids or your friends, you know, anything that you can do to be able to conserve energy and not be wiped out and make a bad choice is a good idea. Yeah. Because what happens if you don't have anything prepared at all and you're tired right? You're exhausted for some reason. You tend to make a bad choice, right? And for us, a lot of times what we will choose may have a seed oil or something in it. Now I'm tired and I'm eating something, and then we've got joint pain or inflammation of some sort because we grab some sort of fast food type of item, or like maybe chicken wings, not cooked in the best oil. That's when we might get grocery store chicken wings and just not have the best outcome. So it makes a bad situation worse.
Evelyn said, I think after being in this way of eating, living for a while, food becomes less of a session priority.
Yes.
It's fuel and it can be fun, but other things take priority, living more than I used to. Yeah,
I love that, Evelyn. Now, I will say that with that said, if you are looking for the most beautiful lunch that a parent could prepare a child, Evelyn has found ways to create like bento boxes for her children, keto-fied. Beautiful. She was sharing some pictures of those on the low carb cruise with me. Exquisite. I mean, talk about a kid having fun. You know, a lot of times people, and I was talking to Rosette from Rosette's Mix, you know, Dr. Tro's wife on the cruise, and she was saying she would love for everybody to give out more help ideas for parents as far as what to pack in a kid's school lunch to make it interesting. So if you guys don't mind, leave those, you know, make a lunch, take a picture of it, share it in the you know, in the home group or in the public space, so that we can share ideas with parents who are trying to make things more visually appealing and texture wise for their kids.
Okay, Sandy says meat layer lasagna is a great prep for a month's worth of lasagna once a week.
Yes.
Freeze an individual port. I agree. Meat layer lasagna is something we still make a lot. A month, I don't know about that one. That lasts us 2 to 3 days.
Cheeseburger casserole.
Yeah,
is
that's another one that we
really
have.
Good one.
Especially if you like McDonald's cheeseburgers, that's what it tastes like.
You're gonna love it.
Anything else before we get off? Sandy says I get my beef at Aldi. We just got an Aldi.
We just got an Aldi.
You didn't go to ours
We
yet,
didn't get to visit it yet. I'm very excited.
Sabrina said I used ground beef and butter for 3 days years ago when I was in a stall and it worked to get me back up.
So Simpson was saying, how would you compare Sam's Club to Costco? And I noticed that they had mentioned they weren't crazy about like Sam's Club meat. I tend to like Costco better. And when they have a good deal, it's really nice.
So, okay. So Sam's Club, I'll give you all three. Sam's Club, Costco, BJ. We have memberships for all three. It kind of stinks that they're all far away from us. We had 3 Costcos within 5 to 10 minutes. We had 2 Sam's Clubs and a couple of BJs.
It's probably better for the wallet.
So, Costco has more keto-friendly things than the other ones in that they tend to, this may not be a good thing. They tend to get a lot of products.
Right.
Some are good. A lot are not.
Read the ingredients.
Some of the things that we have found that are very keto friendly in Costco that we have done reviews of, they have meat sticks, things like that. Well, the nuts, they all have nuts, but they have like the bars, the Genius Gourmet bars.
But the good ones.
The good ones. The 7 Sundays stuff. They have a better deal on almond flour. Coconut oil tends to be better. They have the Real Good Foods chicken strips. They tend to have better deals on things like bacon and stuff like that.
Pork belly we usually get from there, and they get
pork belly.
They do good Packer briskets.
We've gotten the better. So that meat wise, I think that Sam's Club. If you want to get a good deal on meats in Sam's Club, you need to watch for he's $5 off on a package.
A package.
Like we just got the sausages.
Yeah.
And they were $10 off a package, literally making them 50% off. And sometimes they'll do like chicken wings, $4 off a package. Then what you do is you go through, you find the packages that are the cheapest. Don't worry about how many you need. You know, if one of them is $12 and one of them is $14, buy the $12 one because you're going to pay less per pound.
Right.
Okay. And then we'll try to buy more. So that's where Costco is better. Sam's Club is better if you want lunch meats because they sell them in big vats and they have better deals on meat. And that's where you get your brisket. If you want brisket, they have the best price on brisket in the big Packer briskets. Costco is better if you want like a big thing of ribeyes and go up but you have to buy the value. They're not even sliced. You usually have to go up to the butcher and say, I want like the whole strip, and then they'll cut it up for you. Sometimes they'll cut it up for you. But meat prices are generally better at Sam's Club. Other than that, the only thing that Sam's Club...
like laundry detergent.
Yeah. BJ's doesn't really have a lot. I mean, you can get fresh, like, lunch meat. You can get that there where they fresh slice it. But other than that, like, BJ's does sell the milk.
Fairlife?
Fairlife. They sell Fairlife. The other ones don't. Other than that, like things like cheese and stuff like that, they're all about the same.
But I like Costco the best.
Costco has more variety.
Yeah, like we get our burrata there. Yeah. They have a lot of different like cheeses. I don't know. I just feel like we find more at Costco.
The only thing that Sam's Club has when it comes to keto snacks is a big vat of pork rinds and then nuts.
Yeah.
And like we
can't have them.
We're not allowed to go down the nut aisle.
No,
so we don't go
down I'm nuts for
aisle.
Nuts.
So hopefully that answers. Dustin said, I've never cruised, so I had to look up what the solarium was.
Oh.
Dustin needs to come on one of our cruises.
Yes, we would love to have you. Yeah, having a quiet, relaxing, adults-only place would be lovely. Yes. Tony is here. Hey, Tony and Les. I just bought chuck roast at Sam's Club and Costco. Prices were the same at $6.98 a pound. We have an excellent meat department at our Sam's Club in Tennessee.
Yeah, Sam's Club tends to have more deals on meat. That's just my experience.
And Robin is right. Another good option for getting the low cost pork belly is to go to an Oriental market, like an Asian market. A lot of times you can get really good deals.
John said, Joe, what kind of sausage do you buy at Costco? I generally go, we usually look for just like ground sausage where it's just pork. And then we add our own seasonings. After that, I just find the cleanest, most like breakfast sausage and stuff like that. There's always going to be a touch of sugar. For me, it's a negligible thing. If it's it's like bacon. One carb for a serving, I think you're good. That sugar gets cooked off anyway.
We do have a recipe for making your own breakfast sausage because sometimes, some of the breakfast sausages can be kind of inflammatory. Hey, Mel.
Okay. John said Walmart GV brand are clean and cheaper than the barrel at Sam's.
Oh, for the cheese.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Okay. We are going to get off, guys. Thank you so much
for being here.
For joining us.
Inaugural live stream.
Yeah. So we will be back live on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern for Keto Beyond the Couch. We have, they're supposed to come Tuesday, 50 meat bird chickens. We'll be raising some more chickens to sell for meat. But I did get an email that they're getting a shipment ready. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're going to come early. I'm hoping they come early.
You've got to just be ready.
Because, we want to go to Orlando on Tuesday, but we can't if the chickens are being delivered on Tuesday.
In season and out of season.
Yeah. So, but we have a couple videos I'm going to edit. We just wanted to get the studio done. So we'll have a video going up tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you hit that bell button so that you're notified when we upload new videos.
We love you guys.
Bye.